Excuse me. Hey, Miss Jen, I've got about 6:30. Do you want to go ahead and get us
Yes,
started? And
yes, ma'am. Hello, District 14. Welcome to our free toast host training with the fabulous, and of course, if you didn't know, now you know, Toastmaster of the Year, Miss Debbie. She's going to be going over some free toast host tips that will help your website be a good smoke. And here she is now, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie.
thanks, guys. Welcome, everyone. Let me get this started real quick. All right. Can everyone see?
Yes, we see
All right.
documents and custom pages. Yay.
Okay. So we're going to talk about specific things tonight. But if you may be aware that Jen has been recording all of these sessions. So we had the basics, we've had some session about features. So you can go back and listen to all of those. Tonight, we're going to be doing a little bit of a review on how to add a photo. But basically, we're going to be talking about how you add documents and custom pages to your website, to your free Toast Host website. So let's get started. So basically what I'm going to do though, and this is the disclaimer, I'm sure you all have seen it before if you've attended TLI or anything. We just want to make sure that you are aware that we are recording it and it will be sent out to the district and available for other people. So we want to make sure you understand that. As we said tonight, we're talking about adding documents and we're talking about creating custom pages. So what I want to do first is go through a little bit of a presentation so that I can show you some things that I've seen and maybe give you some ideas for things you might want to add to your website. And then we're going to do a demo. We'll actually go into Free Toast Host and we will look at some of the things that we have done and go behind the scenes. All right. So let's talk about documents first. And again, these are just some examples for you. Wanted to talk about some things and give you some information. And first of all, I don't know why they're not consistent with their words because they say downloads, and then when you go into behind the scenes, it says file manager. So they don't say things that are consistent, but these are really all for documents. And if you look in the main menu, that means that this is public. Anybody can go in. You'll see that there are public documents or they call them downloads. And then under the members only section, when you log in, they're actually called member downloads. So that's where you're going to find these documents. I did want to point out too, something that I just saw somebody do, and I don't know if you all see it, is a translation, a little translation on the bottom there of the main menu. That is a switch that you can turn on and it will translate your entire website into another language. It's pretty cool. If we have time, I'll show you where that is. Okay. These are some of the things that I wanted to tell you about as far as maybe ideas for your website. The top thing that you see is called general information. That's what actually comes with your free Toast Host site. So those are some Toastmaster documents that you start with. And so you'll probably see those on just about everybody's website. Something that I've seen a lot of clubs do is actually put the Toastmaster application under the public site so that people can go to the website and download the application. Remember that it has changed, though. There is a revised version. We're going to actually walk through that tonight, where we need to make sure we get the right dues on our membership application. But that's something you may want to add for your club. Okay, a lot of clubs have a newsletter and they actually put these newsletters on the website. So that may be something you want to do if you have articles or newsletters or things like that. This is something that helps, I think, your not just new people that might be interested in your club, but it helps keep your current members updated and give them information. Okay, this is something I've seen in a lot of in a lot of clubs in variation, but it's they have posted the role scripts. And so in this particular club, of course, this is Henry County. We have documents for any time someone has this role and they're new at it. There's a document that tells them what the role is for, if there are any additional forms that we use or timer reports or things like that, we put them on the website. So this is just a good idea that you might want to put the scripts. This is something I've seen some clubs do, and they actually put the icebreaker project, and it wouldn't be the CC, it would be the pathways project. They also put information about pathways. So that might be something that you think about if you want to put documents on your website. Okay. Any questions about things you might want to put on your website? We're definitely going to have a demo in just a minute. And let's see. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some ideas for custom pages. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So I wanted just to show you some examples of some custom pages that I've seen. And I was hoping that this might give you some ideas to do something on your own website. You'll notice that this is under the main menu, so it is public. Anybody that comes in can see it without logging in. But this club, Dogwood, has done a page where they have their newsletters. And so I thought that was interesting to have a whole page kind of dedicated, a custom page dedicated to the newsletters. They also did something that I thought was very, very interesting. They put a page where they have their club history. You'll notice that they started back in 1955, and this is pretty amazing. They have the first place they ever met. And so I thought that if you know some of the history, this is a great opportunity to put a custom page and put the history out there. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Okay. I think this is Dogwood, but they also do a Toastmaster of the Year for their club. And so they had a page where they celebrate the Toastmaster of the Year, but you could do that with other achievements, other awards, have a page. We may come to it, but I think there's some people do just awards and recognition page, so they can put who got their level 1s, level 2s. If you have a speech contest winner, you can put that on the achievements page. I think we have an example of one in just a minute. Oops, sorry. Okay, this club, Gwinnett Harbingers, actually put some of their favorite TED Talks on a custom page. So they have links to some of the TED Talks. I thought that was really interesting because if you've ever watched the TED Talks, they have some pretty amazing speakers that we can learn from. This is Henry County, but this was back right after we started in Zoom. I think now everybody knows what Zoom is, but in the beginning, I think a lot of us were struggling with Zoom. And so they put Zoom instructions on their website. I thought that was very interesting. This is the awards and recognition page I was talking about. You may want to create a page that says, here are some of our awards. We actually do, Henry County does a Toasties, like an Oscar award ceremony at the end of the year. And so this was our Toasties awards, but you can do a page with recognition. And then a lot of clubs I've seen do a photo gallery. So they have a lot of really good pictures. They wanted to put them in one place. And it also, I think, shows the visitors when they visit that, oh, this club is a lot of fun. They do a lot of fun things together. And so having a photo gallery might be something you want to do. The other thing is, I've seen some people where they maybe have something on the home page for a while, and then when it gets obsolete, they move it to the photo gallery so they don't lose the photos. And you can see this is 2015, so it has been a while. I think this is Dawnbreakers. I saw that they did a special club officers page, I thought this was very interesting because it just lets us get to know the club officers a little bit more, and they have the primary responsibilities of that office, which I thought was very interesting and very effective. Okay, this club, and I'm not sure if this is Dawnbreakers too. So Barbara, you might tell us more about this, but they have a club blog, which I thought was very, very interesting. And I put down some of the other things. They have a new member mentoring when I looked at the blog, but they had some other things like job interview strategies, how great speakers use technology. So just a lot of information that they share with club members and that they post on their blog. Very interesting. Okay, this little image is because I want to encourage you to steal from other websites. If you see something that's interesting, don't be afraid to use it in your club. That I'm constantly looking at other websites and seeing things that are really effective for new members or for current members. So it is not out of bounds for you to steal from other clubs. It's okay. All right. I did want to let everyone know that we do have upcoming training. We're trying to do different things every month. And so our next trainings for October and November will actually be for October emails, using the Free Toast Host emails. There are a lot of mentoring tools in Free Toast Host that I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of. There's some reports, there's some features. We're going to go over those to help you with your mentoring program. And then because Free Toast Host is not supported by Toastmasters International, there is a way that you can open a ticket if you're having a problem about something. And so I want to just show you how you do that and where you do that. And then in November, we're going to talk a little bit about agendas. That is going to take a whole meeting because agendas are something that I could not be VPE without this tool. And we want to show you how to use that and some of the features that you have with the agendas in Free Toast Host. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions so far before we actually go into Free Toast Host? Any questions, anyone?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and then go into one of the websites. All right, can everyone see?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good. All right, so this is Aspiring for Excellence. We're going to go behind the scenes. And so let's talk about documents first. And I want to show you the front before I show you the back. All right, remember we said in the main menu, we're looking for public downloads. Okay, I'm going to go into public downloads. All right, we'll see that we have a couple of forms here, aspiring evaluations and a membership application, but you'll notice that membership application is from 2016. So we are going to replace that tonight. We'll show you how to do that. And then you'll see that there is a folder here. This is the information I was telling you about that comes with your Free Toast Host. It is some Toastmaster information and they have it in a folder. We're going to talk about how you would do that so you can organize information. All right, so this is telling us what's public. Let's scroll down a little bit and look at what is private, and that is member downloads. So I have to log in as a member, excuse me, in order to see these downloads. So let's click on this and see what we have. All right, so you'll notice right away that there are some additional documents that we did not have in the public access, but you're seeing them in the private. And you also see that they have a little M. I'm assuming that means members only or whatever, but you have to be logged in to see these things. Okay. And of course we have the general information, but As we open it here, we'll see that there's actually a, private document that they put under the general information. And that shows up with an M as well. So when we do the private, we're going to see more of everything than we see in the public view if we have documents that we want to make private. Okay. All right. So we've looked inside. Let's go and look at this. All right. So we talked about this before in one of our other sessions, but this is the behind the scenes. This is the administrator console, if you want to call it that. And you'll notice that there are several tabs, but there are also modules. And so if I don't see what I'm looking for in the tabs, I usually know, oh, okay, that's a module. And it happens to be a module for adding documents. Here is what is called File Manager. Again, I wish they had called everything consistently, but File Manager is where you add documents. Okay, so let's see. All right. So let's actually go into File Manager and we'll see how that looks. All right, so this is actually a pretty basic page. We're going to go over everything here. And I wanted to start by replacing the old membership application. I don't know if you can see it here, but it says 2016. I happen to know that's the old one. You can see that it is public, but we want to get rid of that. And all you have to do to delete something is go to the delete column, make sure you're beside whatever you want to delete and hit that little trash can. And it is gone. So a little tip here though, is it doesn't ask you, are you sure you want to delete this? It just deletes it. So make sure it's something you really want to delete. Now you can always, if you delete the wrong thing, you can always go and add it back, but just be aware that that's how you delete things. All right, so your documents, if you can look over here, you'll see that I've got, the extension is doc, so documents or Word documents. And then I've got PDF over here. So those are PDF documents. I want to upload. If you look here, it says select files to upload. So I'm going to select that. I want to go and get, can you all see this? Because I went to another page. Can you see it? I'm not sure Zoom takes you to this other.
No, it's not going to the other page.
Okay. It takes me, so hold on. Let me stop sharing. That's the thing about Zoom. If it goes into another window, sometimes you can't, Zoom doesn't go with you. All right. So I am going to, let's see. Okay. I'm going to show you what it gives me, but I don't think it's, okay. So when
you have to share your screen, Debbie. Ma'am, the select the share screen function.
So let me select real quick. Okay. So what it does, when I click there, it takes me to my computer and I'm looking at the membership application revised on this date. So in order to now show you what it does, I need to come back out and do this over again. But just notice that when it does it, it takes you to your computer so you can pull things to upload whatever you are trying to do. And so let's do this again, and I'm going to share. Sorry to have to go back and forth, but okay. All right. So when I click here, it takes me to my computer. I'm going to find the document that I want to use, which is the membership application that's revised for October. I press upload, and you'll see that it has brought that document to the top. Now, if I want to change the name, I can do it right here. That's a little bit odd, so I'm going to change the name here to Toastmaster. Oh, if I can spell. Application. 2023. All right. So all I have to do, all I have to do is type it in and save it. And you can change the name from here if you don't like the name that it pulled in. Okay, so if we look to the right, we have 2023. I'm not sure what that is. All right. If we click on any of these here, it will actually download and we can go in and take a look at it. All right. Could you all see that? Probably not.
Yes, we saw.
Okay. Okay. All right. You'll notice one of the things that you do when you add a document is you have to tell it, do you want it public? Do you want it private? And so the access, there's a column over here that says, here's the access that I want to have. And so for this application, I actually want this to be, so I'm going to open this. I want this to be public. I want people to be able to come in so I can say, you know, go to our website and download the application. And so I'm going to choose to make that public. That means it will show up in the main menu and you don't have to log in. So let's take a look at that access. Can you all see those options?
Yes, we see.
Okay, perfect. So I've got an option that I can make it public, which means everybody can see it. I can make it members only, which means you have to log in to be able to see it. And there may be some documents you just want your members to be able to see and not everybody else. There's an option called officers only. I thought this one was very interesting. The only thing I can think of that you might want to do with this one, I mean, there may be documents that you just want your officers to see, but one thing we've done with this is we actually do our executive council minutes. And we do that, we add those, but we put them under officers only. So that way, only the officers can see it. And this is the officers that are set up in under membership management in Free Toast Toast. That's how it identifies who your officers are. And so that might be something you want to look at if there's something you want to just have your officers have available. And then there's an option here that says hidden. I honestly cannot think of a way that you would use this because you have to know the URL in order to get to this. I guess it's a way that you could hide something, but people have to know what it is. So I've never had an issue where I would even use that one, but just to know, just for you to know that it's available. Okay. All right. I wanted to show you, so let's save and then come out of here. And let's go back to our, okay. I'm not sure. Okay, so did something. I did something with my application here. All right, let's go to member downloads. I've got two folders and I'm not sure how that happened. Of course, let's go back in and see if we can figure it out. All right. So for file manager, honestly, I'm not sure how that got there, so I'm going to delete that. And I can see that there's a little character right here. I don't know how that got there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I know this is confusing, but okay. All right. I think this happened when I separated PDF from the .pdf. All right, let's look at this again. If we want something, I don't know why that little question mark is coming up there. Sorry, there we go, got rid of it. The reason I think it was doing something strange was this column is what you use if you want to make a folder, if you want to group things together. And so let's look at this. I think we want the application to stand on its own, but if I wanted to put these aspiring documents together in one folder, all I have to do is go over here and name it the same thing. And so I'm going to put aspiring docs. And I'm going to put that for both of these. So you see, I use exactly the same name and I put it in the virtual file folder category over here. We're going to save that. Okay, let's close it out and let's go see what that did. Okay, that did. So by putting that virtual folder name, it has put those things together into a folder, just like we had the general information folder. Okay, so if you want to say you have the meeting roles and you have them all listed separately and you wanted to put them together in a folder, you can do that here by saying meeting roles, but you do need to use the same name. And you can see there that it has grouped things together. Okay, so I know that was a little bit confusing because because I messed up the name, it's my fault. Okay, we're going back in. Let's see if there's, there is a note here. Some people say, well, how large a document can I put in? There is a note here that says 5 meg file size, okay? If you try to put in something that is not the right type or is too large, it will give you a message right here that says file cannot be loaded over 5 meg or something like that. It will tell you, or it will say, dot whatever. I think, for PowerPoint probably won't load in here. So for dot PPT, it would come back and say, this type cannot be loaded. So it will tell you if you try to load something that it doesn't like. I have used docs, .doc. I've used PDFs. I actually tried to do a JPEG and a PNG document the other day. So those are typically pictures, and it did let me load it. So I would say if you have a question about a type and you're not sure it will load, try it and it will let you know whether or not it will let you load that. Okay. All right. Sorry for the confusion, but you can see that if you do put something there that you don't like, you can delete it and try and put it back. It's pretty easy to use and there's not really a lot of moving parts. It's to upload and then you can refresh it, you can delete, you can choose access, and then you can put things in file folders. Okay. Anybody have any questions about documents before we leave that? Or any fun things that you've done with documents that you wanted to share with everybody?
Debbie, this is Terry Perotti. We put
Okay.
all of our minutes on there and then we put them in a folder. So if anybody wants to refer to meeting minutes, they can go back and find the minutes for that particular meeting and see who was there, who the guests were, who was, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay, cool. Anybody else have an example? Any questions? Okay. So I hope you got some ideas about what you might want to add to your website. You can be extremely creative with that. And so let's go into creating a custom page. All right. Once again, I look across my tabs. If I don't see what I'm looking for, then I go to my modules and I see that there's something called custom web page. I'm going to click on that. Okay. This takes me to a new screen. For those of you who were here when we did the home page, you'll see that this editor is very, very similar to what we saw with the home page. And so once you know how to add something on the home page, it works exactly the same way on any other page. Okay. But this is our custom pages. So let's come out for just a second. And we want to see if there are any custom pages that this club has done. All right, let's look over here. I can tell that these all are pretty standard. They have added an awards and recognition page, the District 14 website link, and a photo gallery page. Okay, so let's just take a look for a sec. Okay, so they've got a nice little photo gallery there. All right, so now let's go behind the scenes. So we've seen three things they've added under, let's see, three things they've added under the members, under the main menu. And then I don't see anything, we'll talk about this in a minute, but I don't see anything else that they have added under the members only section. So let's go behind the scenes and take a look at our web pages. Okay. All right. As I said, this will look a little familiar for everyone, but I'm going to very briefly, so this may be a review for some of you. We're going to add photos and content, but first I want to show you there are two different things that you can do to create a page. You can create a whole new page, or you can link to another website. And so we saw when we looked at their website, they had a link to District 14, the District 14 website. That's always, I think, a good idea for you to do something like that, because that way your club members, it drives them to your website, but then they can go to the other websites without having to remember what all those URLs are. So one thing I wanted to add for this club is the URL to link to the District 14 Facebook group. So we're going to do that. If you look at the top, one of the things that I would always encourage you to do, if you see this more button, I guess, or link, I always click on it because it has really good information behind the scenes. This actually tells you that you can do links or you can do web pages. Okay. To create a link only, enter the URL and the content that's right here, website content. We'll enter the URL, and the only other thing you have to do is a web page title, and we'll see that down here. So we're going to do that. If you put in other items, then it may not work successfully. You just have to add those two things. But this is telling you that how to do it. This is telling you exactly what you need to do. Okay. All right. So let's add a link, and I'm going to type in the link. HTTPS so forgive me for a second, for our Facebook group, facebook.com groups -D14 Toastmaster. Oop. You do have to spell everything right. Okay, so I previously had gotten on the Facebook page and copy that URL so that I would have it today. All right, so all I have to do is put that in the content right here. And then I have to give it a web page title. And so I want to call this D14 Facebook group. Sorry if I could spell. All right, that's the only two things I have done here. You will also see, though, at the very bottom, it's asking me if I want this to be public, private, officers only, or unlisted. So I want this to be public. I want everybody to be able to go to the District 14 website link. So we're going to save that. All right, it's successful. We have added it. You'll notice when it added it, though, it told me this is public and this is a link. So it's very clear which ones are your links and which ones are your pages. So let's go to the website. There's our District 14 Facebook group. If we click on that, it takes us to the link for that club. Okay, for that website. All right, let's go back behind the scenes. Any questions about that so far? So adding a link is very easy. If you want to link to other websites, you do have instructions, but let's see. Oh, sorry, went to the wrong one. Custom web pages, that's what we want. Okay. You'll notice though that this more information actually tells me everything I need to do. So this is a reminder, if you can't remember, go up here and it will tell you that, you know, you do need to do access, web page content, and then you do the web page title. That's all you have to do for a link. All right, so let's look at editing a page we already have. All right, if we click on the drop down, we can see that, and remember this, when we looked at the front end, this is what we saw. They have a awards and recognition page. We have now added the link for the District 14 Facebook group. They had a link for the District 14 website, and they had a photo gallery link. So if we wanted to go into the photo gallery, let's click on that. Okay. This takes us into a page that has already been developed. If we wanted to edit, remember, we could add a photo, we could add text, we could move something from the home page to this page and edit the page. So that is very simple to go in and update a page if you already have it, if you already had it built. And always remember to save. Remember that. Don't do a lot of work and then realize you didn't save it. Okay. All right. Let us go into, let's create a totally new page. Say you have something that you want to create for your club. And let's do this. All right. So I'm on create a new page. I want to add something. So I'm going to add a photo. I'm going to add a title, and then I'm going to add other information. So I'll show you that in just a second. We are going to add a page called Joke of the Month. Okay. Now, if we look at adding a new page, we'll see that it has the web page name. I always just put, this is what it attaches, and it's a little bit technical, but this is what it's going behind the scenes, what it's going to name it. And so it's an HTTPS blah, blah, blah dash HTML. So, you know, it's very technical, but what I always do is joke of the month. I do the same exact thing that I did up here. Now, web page description and keywords are things that search engines look for. So if somebody were trying to search for something, this helps search engines do that. Honestly, if you wanted to add a lot of description here, you could. I usually just say joke of the month and do exactly the same thing for, for all the pages. But it does give you the option, if you wanted people to specifically Google this, you could give them enough information to help search engines find it a little bit more. And if you had special directions, say somebody added something and they had to do some special task or something, here's where you can reference some notes. So say you had somebody who's you had a administrator who's more technical, they might put instructions here. That's just what that's for. And then again, we have the access. So whenever we add a page, we do need to decide where we want that page to go. Do we want it to show up in public, in private, or officers only? All right. So we have a joke of the month page, and let's take a look at how we want our page to look. So again, these are the same things that we talked about when we did the home page, but in custom pages, the appearance or the color of the background is actually on the page itself. So this is asking us, what background color do you want this page to have? I'm going to do a light blue. Okay. You will notice with these colors, though, that I have the Toastmaster colors here. I have a block that if you know the hexadecimal color, you can put it here. Or there's a little bar chart over here where you can move the chart and you'll see the color is kind of changing. It's got the before and after color. You can work with this if you want to create a totally new color, but I'm just going to do the blue. All right, let's save it. So there are a lot of things. Oh, webpage content, sorry. All right. I left something off. Okay. Sorry, guys. This just shows that if you have issues, sometimes you have to deal. All right. I don't see anything that is, oh, it's just telling me, okay, sorry about that. It's just telling me you don't have any content yet, but it has put that color behind the scenes. Sorry. So it's telling me I need content here, which is what we're going to do right now. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. This is a little bit of a review, but remember we said there's a cheat sheet right here. If you want to, if you can't remember what Debbie said, you can click these are your editing tools. And if you hover over them, they will tell you in little letters what this actually is. So this says bold, this says image, this says flash, this says embed YouTube. So they tell you what they are. This little icon that looks like a 4 arrows is the maximize, minimize option. And you can tell if I want to do something on this page, I don't have a lot of room right in here to really work. So I want to maximize it. And what that does is expand your screen so that you have an opportunity to work with something. And so we're going to add the joke of the month. I'm going to, hold on here. I'm going to add an image. So I'm looking for my image. Here it is right here. It looks like a little screen. And remember, to add an image, it's 2 parts. It's uploading the image from the computer to the server. Excuse me. And then from the server to your page is 2 steps. So I'm going to upload right here. It says choose my file. Now, I don't think you all can see it, but I'll go back and show it to you later. I'm looking for I'm looking for my joke of the month. Okay, so it has found my image. I'm going to send it to the server. So that takes it from my computer to the server for Free Toast Toast. And sometimes you have to click that a couple of times. Come on, baby. There we go. All right. So this tells me I'm successful. You did it. I'm going to say, okay. Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to do that again. Sorry, guys. I promise you I did all this yesterday and it worked perfectly. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I'm so flustered. It worked. It is, and it worked because it is in the browser now. It shouldn't come up quite yet. So I'm going to have to stop sharing because I want to show you what the browser looks like. So let me pull that up. Okay. Okay. Let me share that with you again. Sorry, I have to go back and forth here. All right. Because it comes up in a different window, Zoom doesn't follow it necessarily. But this, when I clicked on browser, you'll see that it's where it is added pictures, and there's my photo. All right. I selected that, and let me stop sharing and go back. Okay. All right, I'm going to say yes. This is my joke of the month. Why don't ants get sick? Because they have little antibodies. All right, we're going to add that to our page. But you'll see that at this point, I've got the big screen. I need to minimize in order to get back and save it. So I'm going to minimize here. And remember, again, this is a cheat sheet. It tells you the little arrows or to minimize and maximize to full screen and back. And then the icon is to go server to computer to server, server to page. Okay. All right, let's save that. All right, it has added a new page for me. All right, let's close it out and let's go see what our new page has. Joke of the month. So that's just an idea of what you can do to add a custom page. And it is pretty simple. You can add and update custom pages. Okay. All right. Any questions? And I'm so sorry for kind of going back and forth there, but sometimes you have problems. You just have to deal with them. All right. Are there any questions about adding a custom page? Okay, you guys know everything was clear. I would just encourage you to play with it. I have never broken Free Toast Host before, and you can always delete something and do it again if you want to. But let me show you, I do want to show you how to delete a page. So let's go back in. If you have a page that's obsolete or you are redesigning and you don't want it anymore, you go to custom web pages. All right, and then you select the page that you do not want. I'm actually going to delete Joke of the Month. When I go to that page, I select it. You'll notice that down at the bottom, I have a button called Delete Page. So that's how you would have to go to that page, and then it allows you to delete it. This one actually does say it wants to make sure you want to delete it. It says, yes, I am sure I want to delete it. So I'm going to say yes. And then it deletes that page. Okay. Any questions about adding a custom page? So really get as creative as you want to. You can do pictures, you can do text, you can do blogs like we've seen, a lot of different things you can do there. And I wanted to show you one final thing. So do we have any questions?
Debbie, I have a small question.
Okay.
Okay, I see, okay, it's good to have on there where they can click, so that takes you to the District 14 website. If, for instance, the international now has Yodi on it. Is it Yodi? So is it better? So can we put a link to Yodi on here, or is it better to just do it like we did District 14 and put a place where they could just go to the international for Yodi?
Well, I think having things on your club website versus your members having to go out and find them or know the URL, you can add something like that. You do have to log into what you want to link to and get that URL across the top. Get the,
Okay.
and that's the link that you would use, just like we did for the Facebook page. I had to go, let's see, Facebook group. I had to actually go to the Facebook group, pull it up, get it like I wanted, and then I just did a cut and paste of the, what the top URL said.
Right.
And that's what you put here if you want to link. So you might want to add, other tools like that to your website so that it's like you're bringing your members to your website, so that you have a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
So you can add different links here. I mean, I don't think you want to go crazy, but the tools I think would be, helpful for your members. I think that would be absolutely fine.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, one more thing I wanted to show you, and we kind of hit on it a minute ago, but this is access to some of those modules and tabs that we saw. So I want to go behind the scenes. You'll notice I'm logged in as Debbie Thompson, and I am the VPE of this club. And so you'll see that in white here, I don't know if you can see it very well, but you'll see there's some menu options that are in white. They're very small, so I don't know if you can see them, but can you see what I'm talking about? It says assign mentors, email contact forms, custom web pages, agenda templates, file manager. These are all things that as VPE I have access to. So
Mhm.
I'm going to log out as the administrator. Okay. And I wanted to show you that just signed in as Debbie Thompson, because I am VPE and I have been given access, I can actually go in to custom pages and I see exactly what the administrator would have seen. Okay. So
Okay.
you can give different people, different officers in your club access to help you with things. If you are the VPPR and the administrator, but you want somebody to help you with these custom pages, or you want somebody to help you with the file manager and adding documents, you can give different officers access. And so let me show you how to do that. I'm going to have to log back in as site administrator. And that's why we added our club number to the very top of this page, so that I would, when you log in, you'll know what the number is. You don't have to memorize it.
No,
That's for multiple clubs, that's multiple clubs. Have to remember your numbers.
Especially if it's a really long one. Okay. All right. So I'm signed in as administrator. Let me go to the console. This is the administrator console. Where you add access to other officers is here under access settings. And so you'll notice that I think it's up to 3. Well, it tells you right here, maximum of 3 club officers. I can, if I want somebody to help me with custom web pages, I can put officers here, or select officers, and they can help me with these things. So I've got one for file manager. We have assigned the president, the VPE, and the VPPR, which is kind of redundant in this case. Under the emails and contact forms, I've got 3 officers that can help do that. So this is just being able to give access to help you with the website and do things if you wanted someone to help you without giving them the password, the administrator password to do those things. And so this is just a really good place. Say I wanted somebody, we added joke of the month. I wanted somebody else to maintain that. I don't want to have to do it all the time. And so, or the blog, it might be somebody that you want to help with that. So this would be a way that you can give access to other people and not have to give them the administrator password. Does that make sense?
makes sense.
Okay, so it's all under access settings. We'll close that. And you'll see that I have these because I'm listed as the VP education. And because they gave me access, they're going to come up here. I can show you that when I log out as Debbie Thompson, those things are gone. I don't have access anymore. So it knows that I'm VPE and gives me access to those things. Okay. All
Okay.
right. Any questions? I know we've gone over quite a bit. We are recording it, so Jen will be putting it out so you can listen to it again. And I do want to remind you, we have other classes coming up. Let me put my, let me close this out. Excuse me. I'm going to put my email address in the chat. So if you do need, if you have questions or you get into something and you're saying, this is not working like I thought it was, just shoot me an email or contact me and I'd be glad to help you with that. Okay?
Okay, that works.
Excuse me. All right, so your challenge now is to add either a document or a custom page to your club website. Oh, okay.
Okay, that works.
Any other questions before we close out? And I'll turn it back over to Jen. Excuse me.
So Debbie, does it work the same way with slides when you load a slide to your website?
When you say slide, what are you talking about? A picture? Are you talking about?
I
What-
guess I'm talking about like when you do something in Canva and you need to put it on the website. So you still have to go through Free Toast Host to do it, right? And so
Well, Jen, who knows more about, what is your format when you create something in Canva? Is it .doc? Is it .pdf? Is it dot?
You should either, it gives you options. Usually when I do Canva, I download it as a JPEG or a PNG, but they do have a PDF option.
okay.
And sometimes, so when I used to get the PDFs from people, I'm like, okay, I can't transfer. So yeah, that's, but since I have this wonderful tool now, I can just copy and make it into a picture. But yes, if you put it on your website, you might want to save it as a PDF. That'll make it easier for you to upload it.
Okay.
But as Debbie stated, it's something most likely will accept the JPEG or PNG. But Canva, once you go to download, it'll give you a list of options and
Okay.
choose the one that's best for you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
And
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, so did that answer? If you save it as a PDF or a .doc or a JPEG or a PNG, I know those have worked for me before.
Right.
If it's an odd thing, it will tell you whether or not you can upload it or not. It will say, does not accept this file format. It won't do it. So
Okay.
but I know it works for docs and PDFs and
Okay. All right. Yeah, that answers it.
okay, good. Thank you. All right, any other questions? All right, guys. Thank you so much.
I do have a question from Miss Mary.
Okay.
So Miss Mary, the previous videos, and while I'm doing that, if you haven't seen it yet, I put in the chat the link to the actual new updated membership form. And also I put in there, I found it. I put in there the flyer for Friday, which is our free tech savvy PR and video hub. It starts at 6. And also, if you look at the bottom of the email that came out yesterday, we started putting in Toastmasters tools. And at the top of the Toastmasters tools is the application, but also some other wonderful things that came out. And what we get, like a leader letter, that is some great information and tools for the club. But I found the D14 trainings. So if you go to D14 trainings, District 14 trainings, we do have the free Totos videos on there. It's not in the playlist. I'll put it in the playlist real quick, but it's on there and available for you to be able to view. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. VPPR free Totos, and let me put this link in the chat. Oh, go back. Okay, so yeah, it's there. But let me put that link in there for you. All right. There. All right, it's one more. Okay, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Be sure and contact me if you have any questions or have any trouble doing anything that we've talked about. And hopefully we will see you next month when we're talking about the mentor tools. I think you guys are going to like this if you have mentoring in your club. I know personally, I could not keep up with who we had assigned mentors to. And so this has some tools and some reports that will help you keep track of that. And it's got some features that are just so nice. For example, you can set it up to send you an email. The mentor will get an email anytime the mentee or protege signs up for a role. So as their mentor, you can say, "Oh, this is the first time Sally is timer. I want to call her and make sure she's comfortable with this role." So it's got a lot of really nice features for mentors. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Debbie.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Great
Debbie.
session.